Oh, I think I'm live.
Mm.
Hello.
Here we
We
go
are
again.
professionals.
Where production values go to die.
Welcome to CCJT Avatar Hour, where production values go to die. Hello, everybody. That's CC.
And that's JT.
We're just diving into things.
Diving in literally.
Diving in
week.
literally. Happy Easter.
Yes.
Happy Easter for
to
those
all
who
those
celebrate.
Who celebrate.
Happy Zombie Jesus Day for those who celebrate. That always gets us in trouble. It gets me in trouble when I say Zombie Jesus Day. But
sometimes you have to have a sense of humor, though, and if you really think about it.
Anyway, some things to talk about today, mostly real life. We are a writer's podcast. We'll try to tie it back into writing.
Well, first of all, we said it's Easter, but today the date is March 31st, 2024. It is Sunday.
Yes.
It is the last day of March, so we're heading into April. Tomorrow's April Fool's Day, so be careful who you listen to.
Yeah, for those of us with a fiscal brain, it's the end of the quarter.
Yes.
So we're probably going... If we had a real fiscal brain, we'd probably be freaking out, doing all those end of quarter statistics. But yes. I don't do that anymore.
There's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Weather report, it's winter again here in northern Nevada.
Yes, it is not a beautiful Easter day here. We have, what did we have yesterday? Grapple,
yeah.
Which is like a hail-ish.
Kind of. It's
a feathery hail or a hard snow. It's a pelletized snow. I don't know how you would describe it, but it was grappling here yesterday.
Grauple. So you got your word of the day out of the way.
Grapple.
So yeah, there's a lot going on. So I guess let's go ahead and talk about the big thing. The big thing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You is retired.
I am a slug.
You are after many years of service to the fine citizens of Nevada. You are here.
Yes.
You are trying to get used to the idea that you're
not going to work tomorrow.
You're not going to work tomorrow. It's just a really probably strange discombobulation. There's another word of the day for you folks.
Well, I guess now that I no longer work there, I can say that my career, at least recently, for the last 17 and a half years, was as an archivist. I was an archivist at the Nevada State Library Archives and Public Records. I ended up as senior archivist.
Don't say no. You earned it. Own that.
What I meant to say was I ended my career as the senior archivist.
Yes.
Ended up.
Yep.
We took that differently. Writing lesson.
Yes.
Your reader may not. Yes. Anyway, but yes, that's what I did. Maintaining the history of the fine state of Nevada.
Yep.
The institutional memory of the state of Nevada will always have a very special place in my heart. And I've made promises to go back and visit people on occasion because people were a little freaked out this past week.
Yeah, when they found out that you're really retiring?
Yes, I won't be there next week. You guys are going to have to start answering these questions and figuring out where to put these records and talking to agencies about sending your records over and all that fun stuff. So, they're down a person right now. It's a very small office.
Yeah, and you mentioned institutional knowledge. You took a lot with you, but the place went from 25 to 30 years of institutional memory, and it shrinks down to 8.
Not entirely. For the archives, yes, but there are a couple people there who were there before me. One of them is the head of the Talking Books program right now, and the other one works in the imaging program. So they both have been there longer than I did, but for the job that I did, yes, the current institutional memory is probably closer to a decade.
Yeah, but that's a hit, though.
Well, there are the former state archivist still pops in on occasion. They're able to pick his brain for things that they need about the building because he was actually involved in the construction of the building that they are currently in. That's going to be my biggest challenge, is not saying we anymore. I found that happening a lot last week. I was saying we need to, and then I was like, you need to. So that's the big news of the week, month, and year.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep. It was a week.
It was a week, so it was very emotional. The flowers that you see in front of them were part of the retirement thing. There's cards in front of us. Yeah, don't believe her. She's drunk. She's been on a bender since she's retired. But there's cards and gifts and everything like that. And I was very, very pleased that they were able to see her the way that I see her, which is that she's awesome. So you're awesome.
It turned into actually the week started. So last Sunday evening we had a small dinner with a group of my now all former coworkers
and spouses
and their spouses. It was a nice dinner. JT was also there.
Mm-hmm.
Then on Wednesday, they'd planned an agency-wide retirement party, and I got a certificate from the governor.
Woo!
Woo! You got a proclamation. I got a certificate. But it was very nice. We did a breakfast. They did a breakfast burrito bar, which was amazing, and had a cake and everything, and a backdrop, and it was very intense and emotional. And I thought, okay, that's it for the week. But we had joked about Friday would be kind of a roving party and we're just going to bring in treats and stuff. So I took in a few things. That turned into another full-fledged party because I got gifts on Wednesday, and then I also got more gifts on Friday. And a lot of people just came up and hung out in the office, and we had a lot of chats about old times and compared cat photos and, the usual office stuff.
Yeah. I'm looking across the room here at your vase. I'm just loving your vase.
It's amazing. It's a beautiful Japanese vase. I guess I could grab it.
Yeah, grab it.
I'll be right back.
This is she got from her supervisor. Who knows?
Actually, no, this is from the entire staff.
Oh, it's from the archive staff. But...
No, the entire staff.
Oh, the entire staff.
So they took up a collection, and you may not be able to see the detail very well, but it is Japanese because we did live in Japan. So I am known for having a bit of a connection to Japan, but they took up a collection. And instead of getting me a gold watch, they got me a beautiful Japanese vase.
Yeah, we'll put it over here. Yeah, right there. Okay.
Yep, it was very sweet.
Very nice.
Very touching.
And now you're getting all get perked up again.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay,
I had a couple pretty decent breakdowns on Friday, which came in the front door and basically blubbered all over poor JT.
Yeah. At 5:15, walked in the door and it's over, man.
Let loose.
Yeah.
Well, what happened was my supervisor specifically waited. She was sitting by the door waiting to walk me out to the car because it was our tradition to walk out every night at 5 o'clock together. And she was behind me at the traffic signal, so I waved at her. And then when I got home, now I'm doing it.
Okay, now you're doing it.
Then I lost it again, so.
Yeah.
Yep, but now on to new adventures.
New adventures. Anyway, congratulations. Between us, between our time, mutual time, 50 years of service to the state of Nevada public services is mind-boggling to think about.
Well, and if you think about it, your grandmother also worked for the state.
Yeah.
She worked with employment training and rehabilitation.
Yeah.
Or I think at the time it was called employment security.
Yeah.
One of our kids also worked for the state briefly. Our son-in-law works for the state in a sense. Yeah, it's a state.
And of course, our daughter works for public service.
Yes, so. And actually, our son-in-law's father also worked in the same facility that our daughter and son-in-law worked in. So we have a lot of connections to public service in Nevada.
Yeah. Okay, have we bored you yet? All this retirement talk is probably boring because it's pretty much consumed us for the last month, and it's it's there.
The thing that I found out in the lead up to my last day at work is that everyone in my office was fascinated by retirement. Nobody understood the process because I've talked to people previously who had retired, and they told me it was very challenging to get through the actual process, the bureaucracy of retiring. And it is true that there are a lot of things that you need to deal with. They're not centralized. You have to go all over the place to figure it all out. So everyone was picking my brain. I gave them suggestions about things that I'd learned that I didn't know. So there are other people who are close to retiring in that agency that are now looking at actually moving forward with some of those things in advance of trying to retire because of things that I learned. So I feel like I left a little bit of extra knowledge when I walked out.
Each one teach one.
Try to do that.
Yep. Okay. All right. So moving forward. So what are we moving forward to? Well, we've talked about this in the past. We've talked about two more books. We've talked about our publishing company, our little publishing company, and we have defined roles within our company.
I took on a new one.
Yep, and you got a new one. So in addition to being the chief executive officer and the editor-in-chief, you are now the full-time chief marketing officer. So that's going to be some time for research and implementation.
Right.
We're talking about, consolidating our social media, consolidating our efforts. We've put a sort of, I don't want not to use the word ban, but we've been verboten on spending money, anything related to books, anything like that. Except for, publishing on Barnes & Noble, getting the paperbacks up there. But we have not been spending any kind of money related to marketing until this period of time. And so as the chief marketing officer, you'll be just gathering all of that information in one place and looking things over, trying to decide which way to push our books and things like that.
Right.
And part of that effort, of course, will be publishing and marketing new books, which we're very close to doing. We have two books that are very close to being going.
Two of your books.
Yeah.
Yes.
First, the Space Epic, and the Zoe book, which is at 62,000 words, and I just need to figure out the ending, which I don't have an ending.
And see, one of the things that I think you need to do about that book is not to think so much about the word count, but just think about a natural place to end it.
Yep. So what I've been doing is I've been going back and I've added like a lot of filler, building up scenes and things like that, so it doesn't, the scene doesn't just go whoosh on by, that it has some slow down, trying to add 3 senses as much as possible. And we've gotten away from the marketing thing, but I think really I just summed it up okay.
Well, and part of the reason we stopped spending money basically was that we had spent what we needed to for the moment. And we're trying to find a natural way to market that's not going to be incredibly expensive, because as JT said, we've been spending like $500 to make $5, and we need to flip that somehow. So there will be a lot of playing around with finding out natural avenues of marketing that aren't necessarily going out and spending a lot of money to buy ads or something. I think there is a way to do it. I can be very analytical about things, so I'm hoping that helps in this transition, that we figure out, social media is tricky because it's kind of ephemeral, that we're noticing that things that we rely on for a while suddenly there's a lot of talk about certain things going away, certain things being blocked. So there have to be ways to market without using social media so much. We need to figure that out. So that's something we'll probably be talking about here as we progress. We'll give you updates on how it's working for us. Hopefully that will give you some ideas on how you can
learn from
ramp up your own marketing without maybe breaking the bank.
Yeah, we're probably going to be as much as transparent as we can, because the mission of this podcast has always been one of teaching, one of sharing knowledge. And so it is our hope that as we learn things, that we can bring them to this podcast, and then you can use that information as you wish. But of course, with caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. What works for us may not work for you, and vice versa. So always be careful with what you hear on here. But we're excited. We're excited. We're happy. We're in a good place. We're going to be on the road more often because we're going to do research. We part of that marketing thing is we're going to be doing probably, I'm not guessing, because really I'm not a marketer, so I'm guessing there's going to be like brief TikToks of us on the road, going, hey, look at us, woo, and that kind of thing. And mostly what we're going to be doing when we're on the road is is learning about the region, because we've always written about regions, over there. Well, we have a couple of exciting projects going on,
Mm-hmm.
that we're hoping to get out in 2025 or 2026, but that we will be able to do by soaking up the local atmosphere by
Yep.
being there, which is going to
Yes.
be unusual for us. Google Maps, great. I
Mm-hmm.
use Google Maps in order to do a setting on one of my books so I could figure things out. But feet on the ground, nothing. There's no substitute for feet on the ground.
Right. And you talked about adding in the senses. So Google Maps gives you a sense of perspective, a visual of
Mm-hmm.
the location, but really standing within the air, maybe it's more humid than where we live normally. It may be flatter because we did live in the Midwest, and there is a distinct difference between being surrounded by mountains and being in the rolling plains. Um, I have not been any further east than Chicago, so it will be interesting for me to experience the East Coast. You have been over there a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's a much older part of the country. There will be locations we visit that are older, and they have a very strong sense of time in them. And that's kind of the thing about being on the West Coast of the United States. Our history, American history, I should say, is very new here. And there is a lot of history here that predates that is not always at the forefront of things. But back east, it's a few hundred years older
Mm-hmm.
as of, American history. So it will be a different feeling, a different sensation, the smell of the old building, the feel of the moisture, the smell of seawater.
Oh, it's like when we went
So
we
many
went to
things.
Europe, which
Yes.
is
Oh my gosh.
thousands of years,
Right.
thousands of years. It's like America is still the young upstart when you're
Hmm.
talking about those civilizations and having this and seeing, for example, the Book of Kells,
Yes.
which predated everything on North America. Excited, not forgive me, Native Americans, but it's
Well, that's why I'm saying American,
yeah.
because, the whole westward expansion, the manifest destiny, and things like that. So there are parts of there are parts of the North American continent where the full history is not really maintained as well as it should be. But like you said, Europe is very different.
Yeah.
Seeing Viking history in Dublin was fascinating because it's so much older
Yeah.
than what we're used to. And, just there are feelings that you get from being in an old structure, being in some of those old churches and castles and things. So having that and being able to add that into our writing, I think really makes it deeper and more interesting for people who maybe haven't experienced it. So hopefully we can explain it in a way where you get at least some of that sensory. You can imagine the smell
Mm-hmm.
of the seawater. You can imagine the crash of the waves on the rocks on the shore, that kind of thing. So that's what we want to do with our travels.
Okay. And so, since the theme of this podcast obviously is retirement transition, what do you think? So, two questions. What do you think is going to be the hardest habit to lose from your working days that you don't need anymore?
That I don't need anymore is well, thinking about any projects that ended up being left undone there,
Yeah.
I'm finding already that it's like, oh, wait, nope, not my problem anymore.
Yeah.
So getting out of that mindset where I've had projects, and in the job I was doing, there were really no ends of projects because they were all continuous.
Mhm.
So I was never going to walk away leaving everything finished. And just getting out of the mindset that I need to go back there and do something, that's going to be big.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the other one will be like today is Sunday. Normally Sunday is a day of dread because it's like, oh, I have to get ready to go into the office tomorrow. I think getting rid of the Sunday blahs,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be a big one.
Okay. And part two of that question: what do you think is the hardest habit you're going to pick up? Because
Well, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to transition from thinking about the projects that I left undone at work, and I'll start focusing on the projects I have left undone at home because I was at work. So I think naturally, given a little time, you said it might take months, I think, my mind will kind of flip. And I have a long list of projects that I've been thinking about. I have many manuscripts, I can't even count, that are in process in various stages of being done. First draft done, a complete rewrite's needed or something like that. So I think I'll transition into thinking more about, okay, these are the projects I have. Which one should I tackle first? And, just kind of, it'll take me some time to switch from that thought, the out there projects to the in here projects.
Now, for me, I found, we're going to have to set up some new routines. That's just the way it is because we're routine oriented. We've been trained since before kindergarten. This is a routine that we have to keep. And what I found one of my routines is when I'm going to write for the day, the best thing for me to do is get up, eat, and then go. Just do it right away. No, just, don't do anything else. Just get up and write. What do you think is going to be your routine? Because you're going to have, the company marketing side of the house. You're going to have the marketing side, and then you're going to have the creative side. And then you're going to have that third nebulous thing, working around the house. Because, like you said, you have things you want to do around the house.
Right.
And there's only 16 hours in the day, which you're going from an 8-hour day and then recovering from the 8-hour day. Now you're going to a 16-hour day.
But it's different.
Yeah, it's different, yes.
Because I will be able to work on my natural rhythms, whereas in the office, they expect you to do certain things at certain times. Doing it at home, like you said, it works best for you to get up, have breakfast, and write. I may find that I need to get up and putter around the house for a few minutes. Maybe I straighten things up. I'm going to try to limit my social media, have a very restricted set of time so I don't end up spending all day in the TikTok hole or something, because that's very easy to do. That's one of the things that I'm going to be very strict on. I may have like a social media day where I prepare things for a week, and then we throw in the occasional, on the spot thing. So those things, it will take me a little while to figure out a new rhythm.
Yeah, and we're on different schedules too. Because,
very much.
Because you're more of a morning person than I am. I can easily. That's one thing that I really like about retirement is I can sleep in until 8 o'clock with no problem. But I'm up until past 10 to 10, 10:30, 11. That's not a problem for me. Whereas that we don't know that because.
Well, if you remember, way back when we were first married, I was a morning person. But we ended up staying up very late. We'd be up past midnight because JT was working rotating shifts at that time. So several days of days, swings, or mids. So I would try to sometimes be awake later at night to be able to see you after you'd worked a swing shift.
Right.
I am able to shift to a later schedule, and then we were sleeping until like noon.
Yeah.
So I've been in the morning routine for a very, very long time now, but it is possible for me to shift that. So I think my schedule may actually fluctuate. I may not be a consistent morning person. I think I'm very driven by seasonal rhythms and things like that. So summer mornings, I may wake up really early because it's light and I want to get out. And as a kid, I just loved the feeling of getting out the door first thing in the morning when the air was all fresh. So, I could see myself doing that in the summer, but maybe in the winter, sleep in, stay up late, because late night is a great time to be creative.
Yep.
You get those hours, nobody's bothering you.
Yeah.
So I can see myself kind of having these, rhythms.
It's just going to be dependent things you've got to learn.
Yeah.
So retirement, here we go, I guess, really.
Well, and that's the thing I keep thinking, reframing retirement, that I think the traditional idea is that you leave a career that you've spent your whole time, your whole work life in, and then you sit in a rocking chair on the front porch.
Yeah, we ain't got time for that.
That is not retirement. I think these days retirement is, people are changing careers. So you're retiring from a career and going to another career. You're traveling more. It's not sitting on the front porch in a rocker. So I think everybody's kind of reframing. We're living longer, healthier lives.
Yeah, we're definitely way young because, it's for retiring, we're way young compared to, like our grandparents and great-grandparents. When they retired, it was like retirement. But no,
and that has happened to people. It's like they're out of the job for a month or two, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that because, there's so much else that I want to experience, I want to write about, I want to do. So I can see, this second phase of career, whatever you want to call it, yes, I retired from one career, but now I think I'm moving into a new phase of a different career.
Okay, so yeah, okay.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I know initially when you retired, you felt very at loose ends, kind of adrift, but now do you feel like you have more of a sense of purpose again?
Yep. Now that you've retired, now that we can start having fun together.
Right.
We can.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's it. We can start having fun together. So, and we're looking forward to that. What are we pointing at?
That smells amazing. Can
Oh,
you
the
smell it?
lily.
Yes.
The lily.
I just got a whiff of the
holiday
lily.
reminder, folks. Easter lilies and cats
Yes.
do not mix. No,
No,
Easter lilies
no.
and cats.
Dangerous.
No. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and just wrap this up because there's a lot we do want to talk about, and we're going to get this. This blog will be, this podcast will be more of a writing thing as we dive into the adventure. It's going to turn more into the business side, but we'll keep the creative side too, because that's something we talk about. We have a regular meeting, a company meeting, and we deal with both sides. We deal with the business side and the creative side. So
maybe just an off the wall thought. Maybe in the future we'll do 2 podcasts a week.
Yeah.
We could do one on the business side and one on the creative side.
Yeah, and we're shortening
right, maybe a 15-minute of each.
That'll be part of the marketing thing. We'll figure it out.
We will, but these are the things we're toying with a lot of different ideas now. We're not sure exactly where they're going to go. We've decided we're not setting any firm. What is it you were using? You were saying those words, the hard rule.
Yeah.
I need to, I have to.
The power words.
The power words.
Power words like we need to do this, we have to do this. You know what? We're retired. We don't have to do jack shit.
So what we're doing is we're feeling our way into a new way of life, basically. So join us for the ride. We'll see what happens.
That's right.
We can't say. We're going to see what happens, in December 2024 going into January 2025. We'll see if we make any shifts.
I think we're repeating ourselves now. No,
I'm just saying that kind of as a wrap up to say that we're feeling our way along, and we hope you'll follow along to see how things kind of work out.
Okay, so please continue to join us on this path. If you're seeing this through YouTube, we ask that you go over to our WordPress site at www.carsonhume.com and sign up for the newsletter. So when we publish things like this, it sends an email blast to our followers, and we do have many followers there. So please join the crowd. Also on www.carsonhume.com is our books, videos, and other media. And we're going to figure out what to do with our website too during this year and see if we're going to change the look and feel of it. So that's going to be exciting too. We don't really have much to say other than, again, congratulations on surviving the bureaucracy that is government. It's like people always talk about people always talk about the third person, the government doing that. Well, folks, for a time, that was us. We were the government. And now we ain't.
It's not the faceless bad guy. It's actually people who are trying to do their job for the most part.
Yeah, we're done. So until next time, over there is CC.
And over there's JT.
Y'all take care of yourselves. Y'all take care of each other. Again, if this is a day of celebration for you, happy day. And also, happy Zombie Jesus Day. I'm just that way. Sorry, folks. Anyway,
watch out for April Fool's jokes.
And watch out for April Fool's jokes. Y'all take care now.
Bye-bye now.